Well, hello. Here we are. Robin, the Inwit, very late to the party this week. It's been one busy week, but I'm going to try and smash this out as quick as possible, upload it before tonight's episode. Who knows if I can accomplish it? We will see. All right. Here we're down to 2 episodes a week now, and so this should be quicker for me. We have the war that were kind of advertised between George and Hayley. Not really a war, because George plays this very, very well. Even though he is hell-bent on Nina, he gets the information finally from Nina and plays the sabotage of Hayley's game flawlessly. No, she doesn't see it coming, because if she saw it coming, there's room to move. However, as I mentioned last week, I don't know why Hayley decided to take out Sean instead of George and just doing the swing vote and blaming that on Nina. I think if I look back at it, her idea may have been giving her another resume builder and then take out George the very next trial. The problem I have with that is when you have someone like George who is very good and you are seeing how good he is at the game, you need to strike. She's had one attempt and it was a perfect attempt, telling Nina. They just blundered it super chronically, the worst blunder in the history of the world. You have that moment, you have another chance to strike without George knowing anything. But you've now leaked information. You've leaked George's set for life win. This is now out in the ether. This is a leak and you need to plug this leak really quickly. She then does the switch of the vote to get rid of Sean, maybe hoping, you're gonna find out, that's hard. Like, what, Nina's going to deny as she does, and George doesn't believe her. So the read on George by Hayley is correct in that part. But the read on Nina isn't. Nina now takes it personally. I didn't do it, you don't believe me, and now my game is now my game's at expense because of this moment. I'm going to fight to clear my name. And Hayley must have not thought about that potential outcome here. Because now the information is well and truly leaked, everything's out, and you can't take out George. I mean, she could, but she's now on the back foot. She had all the time in the world to take out George, and she's missed it. And what we have here is Nina being a little bit upset with Hayley, throwing her under the bus. And does Nina take the right path here? Nina wants to make a move. If she gets out George, it can't be her move because Hayley kind of has set that up. So for Nina here, she's lost her agency. Agency is the word of the season, thanks to Simon. She's lost any form of agency she's had in claiming this move. So her decision is to go against that and get some power back. Doesn't matter because it's not going to be her move. It's always going to be George's move. George needs to go for anyone to have a chance at winning this game. George should go next week. He should. Anyway, that's the side problem. But I would be assuming George should go next week. Hayley gets blindsided perfectly by George because George gets the information, and information is power. The more people know the information, the less powerful this information becomes. These 3 know this information. It does not leak back to Hayley. George is Boston robbing this game pretty tightly. Everyone is under his spell. No one does anything basically without George doing it. But the thing about George, for the most part, he hasn't done this perfectly all the time. There was that clash with Liz and Shonny. For the most part, he allows people to try and think for themselves. We have that blow up with Simon saying Matt's a pawn and George going, "You're not a pawn, you're playing your game, I'll defend you." You know, George is doing some pretty clever things to manipulate everyone beneath him. And he has got a bunch of goats around him who are pretty much afraid to do anything until possibly we see Jerry's going to be feeling burnt and betrayed because Jerry doesn't understand the game. He's doing this loyalty, mateship sort of my words, my honor concept. And now he's been burnt because he's copped 1 vote. He was on the chopping block, and we get the standard twist that we all knew was coming. Unfortunately, doesn't save the queen, but saves, well, in essence, it saves the princess. It saves Sandra's daughter, Nina. She goes off, and she goes off with Jerry. and they now have to recover from that. Jerry might be hurting from this moment and betrayal from George if he considers it betrayal. But from there, we now find, as I said a few weeks ago, Simon falling into an amazing position. I mean, if George makes it to the end, absolutely amazing by him. He should never have been there. And what frustrates me the most is he, to me, from an outside eye, very easy to get out of the game. When someone always believes they have so much power and they're in so much control, they're the easiest targets. They are so easy because they let their guard down. And George has been so lucky that these plans have failed, because he should have gone ages ago. He's very, in my opinion, watching on, George is easy to clear. He's no longer such a hard target. He has no shields. He's got nothing he can say can make anyone think he is less of a threat. And he also believes he should win the game. He's already won it in his mind. So very easy to get out. But if George does make it to the end, he should win by a landslide. No one else should cop a vote. However, Simon now is the only other game player really on the tribe. Liz has some opportunity to win. Nina has slight opportunity to win because she understands Survivor more than Matt and Jerry. Matt and Jerry, no chance of winning. Even though Simon has not been able to play a game, has played the most blundery sort of game in existence, we have an opportunity to maybe see Simon win this game. He's wanted to be with the meat tray. That never happened. He fell in to this bottom of the bottom, but nobody wants him, and no one wants to use him as a number because they don't understand. Liz walks away from him. Matt walks away from him. Jerry walks away from him. These people don't know Survivor. And that is such a missed opportunity to take someone who has no power and give yourself power from that. They're not doing that. So come final tribal, hypothetically, George shouldn't make it. Well, George shouldn't make it. The fact that he's here still blows my mind. And how well he's got there is amazing. But George shouldn't make it. If Simon makes it, because there's a high chance Simon makes it now, because he's potentially going to get an individual immunity to get him through whenever he might be on the chopping block. But this here gives him the chance to completely go through the game very, very easily. What I will say is Simon beats Jerry. Simon beats Matt. Potentially can beat Liz, but most likely would beat Liz because Liz's game has kind of deteriorated after Shonny, and would most likely beat Nina. I'm saying it. Simon's going to win this out of everything. The comic relief of this season possibly wins Survivor. A childhood dream for this guy, and you know what? All for him. Anyway, I got to wrap this up because I got to get this online. I've got to do this within a number of hours before I have to be at work, and hopefully this is up before the current Sunday night episode. Anyway, this was a quick one. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all next week. Catch you later.